Hey everybody, Rick here with Rick's Adventures. Good morning to you. And in this video, I was doing my morning walkabout and I got to thinking about how, when I'm in Thailand, my perspective of the United States changes. So I thought in this video I would discuss with you how a Missouri boy sees the United States after he's been over in Thailand for several months. So with that said, let's get on with the video and I hope you guys enjoy it. Hey everybody, so I was out today doing my little walkabout I do each morning, and I was thinking about a lot of the things about back home. I'm over in Thailand right now. I'm out in Nakhon province area, and I was walking around and I came up here to Tia's rice farm to sit down and make this video. I'd had a lot of things entering my mind and I just thought I'd run some of them past you. I'm curious what you guys think. I'm from Missouri. I was, bred and born in Missouri, Missouri boy, country boy. And I started coming over to Thailand a few years ago just as kind of an escape and to travel the world a little bit. I wanted to see some things. I'd never really got to do a lot of traveling. And whenever I did, I started opening my eyes in a different perspective. It was kind of like taking off a set of blinders. First few times, I had a lot of cultural shock. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying it was just completely different. It's a whole different animal over here. And it's not bad. Nothing I see about it's bad. It's just being adjusting and adapting to the way of life, depending on where you're at, of course. You can be out in the village, which is completely different than if you were in one of the tourist areas or in Bangkok. Myself, personally, I'm spending a lot of time out in the village area because Tia runs a school out here. And then on the weekends or whenever she gets 3 or 4 or 5 days off, we'll hop a quick plane and fly into some of the other areas, Bangkok, or we'll drive to Nong Khai, different places like that. But I digress. Anyway, I was thinking about some of the different things in the United States. And whenever I'm walking here, I get up of a morning, what enters my mind? And what enters my mind when I get up here is, do I want breakfast? Do I want a cup of coffee? Am I going to go for a walk? Am I going to go for a run? Where am I going to walk or run to? What are we going to do when Tia gets off school? A lot of times she comes and picks me up for a quick lunch break and we go eat some noodles at a noodle shop. And then we'll go into one of the towns like Swandan Din of an evening or something and go to an actual restaurant at night. And that's pretty much been the stress in my life while I've been over here, is figuring out where to run and when to run and where we're going to go buy noodles at, or whenever she gets a little vacation time, where we're going to go. So when I was walking today, I had seen some things on my phone pop up on my YouTube feed, and I was watching it, and I cannot. I don't know, guys. I just watch this stuff, and it almost seems like it's out of a reality TV show. I see people complaining and talking about Black Lives Matter and how this big movement was such a grand thing, and then it comes to find out they were just scamming everybody, including their own culture and race, out of money. I watch things with President Biden, and God bless the man. I feel sorry for him. His health is terrible, but how he got voted in is beyond me. And I'm not here to start a political deal. I'm just saying, reality wise, I see the poor guy and I feel bad for him. I really, truly do. But he's just shouldn't be the president. And the second choice is the vice president, which that's, just watch her, and that speaks for itself. Uh, but anyway, without getting political, because I don't mean this to be a political, I'm just talking about the craziness I see. And I'm curious what you guys see that you think are just nuts over there, or if because you're engulfed in the culture there, it seems normal to you. When I'm over there, I would watch this news and I'd see these things and I'd hear about reparations and giving money back to people. I hear about pronouns and all these different weird things, and people wanting to be, say they're cats and have litter boxes in schools to pee in, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm watching this stuff. And when I'm over here, just kind of relaxing and doing the old normal things, running and figuring out where I'm going to have those noodles at. I look at this stuff and it is so bizarre, you guys. And I know that it can't just be me that thinks that, or I would not think so. But what I tend to question is whenever you're in your environment, they say you're a product of your environment. And so I notice that whenever I'm in the States, I don't really think that much about all this crazy stuff I see. I see these things pop up on YouTube or on the news, and it's just kind of like, yeah, well, that's, I've heard about that. I've, watched Joe Biden, mumble his way through things and not even be able to say a sentence. I've watched the vice president, cackle like a hen at things and say some of the silliest things I've ever heard for somebody that's supposed to have a law degree. And, then I watch a lot of these things where people are scamming people out of money with Black Lives Matter, and then people asking for reparations for slavery of something that they had, nothing to do with whatsoever. I see things on students expecting their student loans to be completely paid off by the government, yet there's been hundreds of thousands of people that have paid for their student loans, yet they feel like they're entitled enough and special enough, they should just get this given to them. I mean, I watch these things, and in this Missouri boy's mind, I think that it's just absolutely crazy looking. I watch people kneel during the national anthem. I mean, that's our country, you guys, and people I know it's freedom of expression, but what happened to just having some pride, it is good that we have that freedom. I mean, I do feel it's good, but most people have some respect, in some manner for their country. When I was a kid growing up, it was a big deal to have the bicentennial year. Every kid wanted a pair of red, white, and blue Converse. It was really something to be proud of. And now then we're looking at sports athletes that are getting paid millions of dollars because they can catch a football. And then these guys are kneeling and being disrespectful to every God-fearing man in the country that served in the military, including my father and his brothers. I don't get it, you guys. I mean, there's one thing to have a freedom of expression, and there's one thing just to go, just apeshit crazy. And I think that a lot of the people have gone apeshit crazy in the U.S. I don't understand it, and I didn't see it as much until I got over here and I made several trips to Thailand. And I realized this more and more, and I think that's why I want to retire and move over here. It's not, I love the USA. I absolutely love it. I love my country. I love my freedoms. I carry my handgun around in Missouri. Of course, if I didn't have to worry about all the crackheads that are in my state and meth houses, I wouldn't have to carry my handgun. But I do like that I have that freedom so far. Nothing's been taken yet as of this point. And there's a lot of other freedoms I like. I really don't have freedom of speech over there. People can say that I do, but I don't. Because whenever I say things of what my opinion is or what I think, if it doesn't fit the norm of the day with some of the craziness, people will just absolutely attack you. So do I have freedom of speech? Well, maybe technically by the Constitution, but whenever you're out and you say the wrong thing in the wrong place, you're gonna take a tongue lashing from somebody. I can guarantee you. Now over here, I don't have that problem because I don't talk politics over here. The only politics I ever hear are once in a while Thai people will ask me about some of the craziness, with our political system and why. I have been asked why we voted somebody in that would raise all of our fuel prices, our food prices, and cause all of the problems that we have. And they truly don't understand that. The ones that have talked to me, they don't. They just don't get why we would take somebody that they could see from their perspective. They seen where we had all of these grand things and business was good and everything was working great, and then all of a sudden we change and we put somebody in that makes everything terrible. And this is from the perspective of them talking to me and asking me questions. And I told them, sometimes people think that they're getting a better end of a deal, and they're not. They're made promises by a lot of politicians, and they have this happen in Thailand too. And even though they are told all these things, that people in the United States are kind of, in my humble opinion, losing their ability to think for themselves. A lot of things are happening in the school system. We're kind of training our next generation to think in a particular manner, and that manner is not think for yourself. There seems to me like we're becoming a society of sheep, in my opinion, once again. And, along with that, when you have a society of sheep, you have your herders, who are your politicians, that are walking along carrying the staff, and they're pretty well guiding you in every direction they want you to go. So here's what I see as a Missouri boy for me. I see at this stage in my life, it's kind of a good thing that I did come over here and I seen a different way of living. And while they have their, political rifts and their different issues over here, the whole saying, you guys, ignorance is bliss. So since I'm ignorant to a lot of what's going on over here, and I really don't want to be involved in their politics, what I want to be involved in is the ability that I have a simple retirement coming in. I have some investments that I can get rid of if I choose to, or I can keep. And I can come over here and come out here and stay in one of these villages and then travel into the beaches and go do what I want to do, and have, one of the toughest things I have to decide each day is what I said in the beginning of the video. Where am I going to run, and where am I going to go buy noodles for the day? So with that said, that's kind of my thoughts on whenever I see the craziness in the USA, why I enjoy myself so much in Thailand. I hope it helps you guys. I'd like to see you guys, some of you, be able to make that trip over here and give yourself some time and kind of get out of that cycle that you're in whatever country you're in, if it's as crazy as the one I'm coming from, and just enjoy yourself over here. Again, ignorance is bliss, and where's the best place to go buy noodles? This is Rick with Rick's Adventure signing off. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys soon.